Hello and welcome back, YouTube. Well, I made one hell of a mistake in coming to this interview, and I'm just kicking myself in the ass for it right now. I don't think it's stopped me from getting the job, but it certainly showed that I'm wasn't the brightest decision. So it's 12:29 p.m. right now. So Wednesday, May 24th, 2023, and I need to find me some shoes. Yeah, I came in the Adidas flats that pretty much I wear at all times when I'm not working and it's this hot out. And yeah, should have put on my socks. I should have put on my safety shoes. Like that should have been a no-brainer. Now, safety shoes are not required, I don't think, for this job or going in there, but obviously going in like I was in the office. I'm in the office for a while. But obviously going into the warehouse floor in open-toed sandals is not an option. That's and when I talked with him yesterday on the phone, I forget the hiring manager's name, but when I talked to him yesterday on the phone, he did say I would be going in and possibly even doing a little test run on the vehicle, on the forklift, on the reach truck, and also I'm just sorry, it's hard to focus when I look to the right and the left. I'm just seeing so many new warehouses that were not near the last time I rode down this road. By the way, I'm on the Northern Parkway, which always kind of trips me out. It amazes me that this doesn't have an Arizona highway route, because you can see it's functionally a freeway. In fact, this part here, I believe, is built to interstate standards. But as far as I know, I'm pretty sure this is an ADOT road as well, but they didn't give it an Arizona State Highway number. It's just Northern Parkway. And it will not be a freeway all the way. It goes back, lines up with Northern, just becomes a surface street. But yeah, this is an interesting bit of the Phoenix Freeway network that I'm never on, because I'm never anywhere near this far west. I did a check on Google Maps to see where the nearest Walmart was, and there wasn't. I'm just going to use my experience as a cab driver to just drive in the direction that I'm hoping I can find some place I can buy shoes. Again, like this area here is just all emptiness, warehouse district. Still a little agriculture out here. The old Luke Air Force Base is still out here. But yeah, kind of. It's not middle of nowhere, but it's not suburbia with box stores, big box stores every mile either. So, but he's expecting it's going to take me a little bit to go get shoes and come back. I kind of get the feeling that I'm the most qualified applicant that they've had in a while. So even though I don't have the 2 years of reach truck experience they were looking for, as I did have the paperwork he gave me was like the full employee paperwork, like above and beyond, just like he had me fill out a W-2 and whatnot. Still kicking myself in the ass that I didn't, I should have worn my work shoes. Full stop. And I should have known better. And had I not just got my car back, I've got 2 pairs of Reebok safety shoes, and the nicest ones are the ones I wear every day. Generally speaking, goes home with me. I take them off near my bed or near my couch. Put on before I go to work. The other pair, generally speaking, I used to always keep them in the car, but I think at one point I took them from the car and brought them in at home, and now I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass for not having the spare ones in the car. I mean, there's been more than a couple chapters of my vlog where I've just forgot. Like, where's my brain? and showed up at Amazon ready to work with, in flip-flops, and walked in and had security like, Dan, what the hell? And I'm like, oh, fuck, shoes. And I've had to drive all the way home and then all the way back, and, it ends up killing, that's an hour of my life I don't get back. And at least with the employment policies at Amazon, it's been as simply as just putting an hour of PTO on it. Or if I get back and I'm a little over an hour late, put however many minutes of PTO, and then take that hour of UPT. Like I said, it's an hour I don't get back. But here's where it becomes a service street again. And it says Northern Avenue as opposed to Northern Parkway. And I'm now in the city of Peoria. Yay. Haven't been in the city of Peoria in quite a while. Anyway. Anyway, it's not the first time I made the mistake. I definitely know there's some of the leniency that I've grown accustomed to in terms of not showing up on time, not like, whoa, shit, I'm wearing sandals. Like I tell it's not going to fly at this place. This looks like a potentially great job. One thing he definitely asked me about is, well, you're currently employed, and I kind of gave him a condensed, without all the details that he didn't need to know of what the situation is at Amazon. Basically that I needed medical leave, didn't ask for it properly, they're looking at a job at abandoned, and I'm saying it's not, I'm appealing it. And he's like, well, if you win your appeal, we need people that are going to stay here. And I told him, I said, after this, and this is my position on it, after this, and let's not forget this is a higher paying job. After this, if I get hired here, which is feeling like a pretty strong possibility, if I get hired here and I win my appeal at Amazon and Amazon takes me back, I'm probably going to work a couple of shifts that don't conflict with this. I'm going to use up all my I'm going to put in my notice through the app, use up my PTO, use up my vacation, leave on good terms. That way, if this does become a little more than I can handle, or if this job does become, too much of a difficulty with transportation, I can at least leave proper notice here, and then I'm eligible for rehire, pretty much immediately at Amazon. Shit, I bet this is him calling and asking if I've got shoes yet. Oh, which phone is it? Yikes. Hello? Hey, how's it going? Oh, okay. 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 Not a problem. I can't believe I forgot the shoes. I just don't even, he was already gone anyway. Okay. No, I've got two nice pairs of safety shoes. Well, I mean, they're well worn because I work all the time, but I'm saying, I've got a pair of decent, with the reinforced toes and whatnot, and normally, pallet jacks on toes hurt. Better safe than sorry, But yeah, no, I've got them, and just normally there's a pair sitting in the back of my car, just in case I don't make it home, hanging out with friends and stuff, and go to work from there. But yeah, they're both pairs that are at home right now. So, but yeah, it's no problem to come back in tomorrow. No problem at all coming tomorrow morning. Okay, so I'm going to be looking for him or looking for you? Oh, okay, so Raphael, I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. All right, thank you. Well, that was a rather cool change of plans. Actually, that's better. So come to find out, had I brought my shoes had I brought my shoes, I would not have been able to. I would not have been able to try driving the reach truck today anyway, because if you could, because obviously I just heard my side of the conversation and your side. He said that the on-site forklift supervisor, who would be my supervisor, he left early. So by the time I finished my interview with Raphael, with the whole, which went fabulous, by the way, obviously, aside from the fact that I showed up in flip-flops. But yeah, he by the way, it's a brand new warehouse. Like, it's not even open yet. So, but they're looking to like start very soon, like next week-ish, which is perfect for me. I have no idea why there's somebody honking in the right turn lane behind me. That was weird. Ooh, and that truck behind me is ridiculously oversized. Yeah, I'm just surface streeting at home. This is just... I mean, I could get on the freeway and drive home in a hurry, but I just feel like chilling now that I know I'm not trying to find a place to buy shoes and head back with a quickness. So yeah, we haven't been able to test anyway. That's fine. I can go in tomorrow. I can spend a little bit more time watching videos on how to drive a reach truck. And now I know exactly what model I'm going to be driving when I test tomorrow on it. You know, at least when he talked to me, I could tell him like specifically what forklift I've been operating. Because there was a time, like, 6 months ago, somebody would have asked me, I'd have been like, I don't know, it's yellow. But it's like, yeah, John Heinrich, 4,000 pound, stand up electric, and kind of, I did the hand motions, which I think he recognized. Of like, oh yeah, this hand flips the wheel and this hand is on the joystick. I said, I've been doing it 40, 50 hours a week for about a year now. I don't even think about the controls. Like, obviously when I started, very slow, safety over speed, just very much watching my eyes and everything. I said it, but I said, and obviously on a new pit, I'm going to be like that until I get confident with it. And still, at all points, I'm not going to go any faster than I feel 100% comfortable with. And he did say that, yeah, their focus is safety and that there's not going to be any pressure to go fast, that I'm going to be dealing with fine, like high-end furniture. Apparently, they've got an affiliation with Pottery Barn. I don't even know all the details of it. In fact, I don't even know the name of that company, but they're a logistics company that's partnered with a fine furniture company that has some kind of tie to Pottery Barn. I know I was told more. I don't even remember it all. I do my best to retain what I can and what matters, but I'm feeling very, very positive about this. In fact, honestly, my biggest concern at this point is this massive commute. But I forget exactly what the shift is. I believe it's 10-hour days, starting very early in the morning and letting out at like 1 in the afternoon. I'm not a get up and go to work at 5 a.m. kind of guy, but I've had jobs with that schedule, and I've been pretty consistently decent with them. I'm a day sleeper kind of guy. If I have a job where I get off at 1 in the afternoon, I should be able to make it home before 2. I'm going to drive my ass straight home unless I have a couple of errands I absolutely have to run. Obviously, I got a court date coming up. And I'm going to go home and I'm going to go to bed. I'm a day sleeper. It is what it is. I will probably, my routine will probably involve waking up at around midnight or 11 p.m., going to a karaoke bar, singing a couple of songs. That's not an unusual thing for me. I can't even count how many times I popped in to wander in at like 11:30 at night. And they're like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, good morning. I'm like, what do you good morning? I'm like, I just woke up. Let's have a beer and sing some songs. Bar closes at 2. If I gotta be at the warehouse at 5, like, I don't drink that much. Like, generally speaking, a small pitcher, maybe a small pitcher and a pint. I'm fully and completely sober by 3 in the morning. So yeah, by the time I'm coming out here, I'm no way in hell I'm getting on any kind of forklift. If I'm at all under the influence, that's not happening. But yeah, I might have a couple of beers, or I might just go in and drink a Coca-Cola and sing some songs. But that's probably going to be my daily. I see that kind of being maybe my daily routine. Go home, work on my vlog, work on feed the cats. At some point, I got to feed the cats. Do what I do. Oh, maybe some bedroom fun with Priscilla. We had a bit of a talk about that. I don't really want to talk about that, but it's I don't know. I've just got such mixed feelings about that, and so does she. But anyway, or maybe bedroom fun with somebody else. That would be nice. Anyway, do what I do, be my overnight self, and go to work. Be around probably other people like, oh God, I just wake up. I just can't wake up. And I'll be like, yeah, this is the middle of my day, bro. and wow, that building is awfully bizarre looking on the right. Christie's Cabaret. Wow. It just looks like a big mishmash of masonry and cast and bricks that don't match, but will be painted over so nobody can tell. And I probably didn't get it on video, but anyway. I'm focusing on the road. I'm not even trying to get the phone in and out. Well, actually, I think I can do it. There it is. That's the building right there. All right, get back in the phone holder. Click. Hopefully it's in there secure so you guys aren't getting that annoying rattly sound. I know that shows up in some of my videos, and someday I'll have a solution to that, but I haven't found one yet. Yeah, actually jobs that start at like 5 in the morning are a lot easier for me to handle than jobs that start at like 8, 9, or 10 in the morning. By 8, 9, or 10 in the morning, I can't pull off that all night and go into work thing. By that time, it's just like, yeah, it's bedtime. But I've never had a problem pushing my bedtime to mid-afternoon. Yeah, feeling really good about this. And where am I going right now? I guess I don't have anything specific I have to be. It's a Wednesday. It's noon-ish, and I actually did kind of sleep at night. As I mentioned earlier, spent a couple hours with my daughter. That's very distressing. I don't want to talk about that. I did talk about that with my psychiatrist, and the reality is that, yeah, obviously I can't. It's not going to not affect me, and I'm not going to not worry about it. But she's an adult. I can't force her to check into rehab. I can't force her to do anything. She's an adult. She's going to be 21 in a week. I can kind of give her advice. I try to kind of like, hey, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. She's like, well, what, are you going to blame me? Are you victim blaming? No. But maybe you should give a little thought to some of the people you're hanging out around. I mean, I've got some definite issues and stuff in my past as well. I got arrested for receiving stolen goods when I had what was a dream job at 19 years old as the overnight DJ for KRQU 102.9 in Laramie, Wyoming, which was the only legit rock station in the state. And as I remember right, we were like a 50,000 watt FM signal, one of the highest transmitters in the United States, with an engineer that really didn't give a fuck about the FCC. And we ran a hot signal, hotter than we were supposed to. We had ways of getting away with it, and we just I was heard on that station. Loved everything about that job. The pay was kind of crappy, but it was, cost of living was a whole different world back then. I lived a comfortable life for what I was doing. I didn't have a vehicle most of the time I lived in Laramie, but Laramie is a very walkable little town, and I was trying to get a vehicle. In fact, I had just financed a little piece of shit Porsche convertible. It was a piece of shit. It's probably glad I got out of it. But I just financed that right before I got in trouble for receiving stolen goods and got arrested. And then when I got out of jail, when I got out of jail, I had lost my job. They said same thing, job abandonment. You didn't show up. It's like y'all knew where I was at. But yeah. Generally speaking, when you go to jail, when you get out of jail, you don't still have your job. That's a sad reality, and it didn't help that I was kind of a local radio personality and got my picture in the paper with a very negative article. It didn't look good for the station. So yeah, I was not shocked that I didn't have my job when I got out. I had paid my rent, but yeah, of course I was living, I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck. I was living in, but I was living pretty close to paycheck. So yeah, when that month's rent ran out, I certainly didn't have enough money for the next month's rent. And certainly didn't have the ability to keep making payments on that little used Porsche convertible. So yeah, I brought that back to the dealership. They were more than happy to take it back and keep most of my down payment, bastards. And yeah, I think after that was when I went back to Phoenix. I don't know, that was so many years ago, it's hard to remember. But at any rate, that really boiled down to being around people I shouldn't have been around. I didn't steal anything, but I was well aware that they had put some stolen stuff in my apartment, and I shouldn't have been hanging around with people that would break into cars and steal expensive camera equipment. That's the bottom line there. I had the most airtight alibi, whatsoever, for I had nothing to do with stealing it. I was live on the air at KRQU, and tens of thousands of people knew exactly where I was. I was not part of that, but they got a search warrant, and they found all that stuff in my closet, and I knew damn well it was stolen, and shit happens on with my life. Oh, on that note, I did discuss with the hiring manager there at the warehouse I was just at about my felony. He did look at it, and he's like, yeah, I discussed it with him a little bit, I've explained that many times on my blog, so I don't want to go back into that again and be completely redundant. But I did not even write on my application what it was for. I literally put, which is probably a snarky way to fill out the application, but I put that I took a, please explain. It didn't ask what the conviction was for. It said, yes or no, and then explain. And so under an explanation, I said, I took a plea bargain I shouldn't have had when I was young in 1996. I think that's how I answered that. That's how I explained it. So he asked, I was like, yeah, it was an aggravated assault. I said had the prosecuting attorney disclosed things that he should have disclosed to to my, it's mostly happenstance, had the prosecuting attorney disclose things he should have disclosed to my attorney, or had he I had the money to hire a real attorney, or had I even taken it to trial with this public pretender, there's no way I would have been convicted. But I was young and stupid, no idea how it was going to impact and close doors on the rest of my adult life, and took a plea bargain. So there's no way I would have been convicted for it. Didn't say I didn't do it. I said there's no way I would have been convicted for it, which is the honest truth. And he goes, that's so long ago. He goes, we're just concerned with stuff within the last 7 years. I said, well, yeah. I said that's kind of what I expected, but I just find I said, I expect any employer is going to do a background check, and I figure it's better for me to disclose it now than not disclose it and have it come back on a background check, and then you wonder what else I'm not disclosing. So anyway, I feel like the interview went really, really good. Where am I going? A little bit of Phoenix history. Strip mall on the left is where the very first Fry's grocery store was. Store number 1 used to be right there on the left. That strip mall still looks very much the same as it did back in the day. I'm kind of surprised by that. But the space where Fry's used to be, last I recall, I think there was a thrift store there, but it's vacant now. I have not been through this intersection in the daytime in a long time. Well, there's a really nice fitness center off to the right, near where the Safeway used to be. Yeah, the whole end of that strip mall where the Safeway used to be is gone. That burned down a few years ago, which was kind of freaky when I heard it, because that was a grocery store that my stepmother used to go to regularly when I was a child. My stepmother, who I mentioned before, was just terrified of driving on freeways. So my childhood was going up and down this stretch of 39th Avenue. It does not look nearly as bad here as I was envisioning it might. I know this area has really gone downhill, but this is not looking bad. This is nothing like the hellscape that is 27th Avenue. Now, it does look like it's it's kind of going downhill as I'm getting further north, which is the opposite of how it used to be when I was a child and young adult living in this neighborhood, or in north of here, but in this general part of town. Now that I'm approaching Dunlap, this intersection Dunlap is really sketchy. Northern, surprisingly, didn't seem nearly as bad. There's a lot of my vlog me coming in and out of this intersection. I used to love going to a karaoke bar, like just recently as like last year before, called the Dunes to the left. Definitely after I started my vlog, but they don't do karaoke on Tuesdays anymore. I'm not sure if they do Fridays and Saturdays, or Fridays or Saturdays. I do know my friend Malika has been going there, because I've been seeing. I showed her that bar, but I went there with her there on a Tuesday, and that's when I found out they hadn't been doing Tuesdays for a while. Obviously, I told her how good it was, and obviously she's made it back there on the weekends. I've seen her post it on her Snapchat. So, early 2000s style stoplight poles at this intersection. I do remember when these ones were redone in the mid 80s with the kind of stoplight poles that were used through the 90s. This was one of the first roads that I remember getting those style stoplight poles on it. Kind of sad to see that not only are they gone, but the ones that are here have been here long enough to be really faded. Because Phoenix has changed their style again since these. That video, the last Road Guy Rob video, was very informative as to why they need to be changed. And actually, Road Guy Rob responded to one of my comments, actually replied to me. It wasn't anything that I thought was opening a dialogue where I should reply to him, but I was really impressed he replied to me. I don't know, that guy's a huge celebrity in my mind. Love his channel. I don't, and it's probably not really that huge. It's just such good quality on a topic that I find really fascinating. But as you can see, these medians that are here on the left that have like the fake brick in it, when this road was redone in like the mid 80s, when I was actually the early 80s, or I'm sorry, yeah, early 80s is when that median was added. And it was done more or less the way it is now. The median went to all the major road intersections, and in the middle of the median was where the left-hand turn arrows were added. Or the ones that didn't have left-hand turn arrows, there was stoplights in the middle. And those have all since been removed. And that's actually what I commented about to Road Guy Rob, and he replied that there's still places that have them, but that they largely aren't being put in anymore due to the potential of people running into them. In fact, here's one on the left that's still there. And I was totally going to turn right here, but it's a little late for that now. But as you can see, well, you can kind of see it. Big ass truck in the way. Nice truck. Sorry about your penis. Yeah, well, it's kind of out of frame right now, but that stoplight pole there. So that's how they had all the intersections. And yeah, northbound pole, that's the new style right there where Sherrill Drive is. I can see the one on the left still from when it was redone in like the early 80s. That style of pole. And then the one for Sherrill Drive where it hits 35th Avenue, that's actually the old style pole from the 70s. I would imagine that stoplight was originally put in place probably in like 73, 74 when Metrocenter first opened. Which is where I'm going, by the way. That wasn't on my agenda at all today. That's not where I'm going to get shoes. But I heard the Wrecking Ball started this weekend, so I'm just going to... Since it's not particularly out of the way, I want to go by there and see... God, it's always so many flooded memories going through this part of town. I mean, I've been in and out of this part of town since I was like... Oh, goodness. 4 or 5 years old. So, it's just overwhelming looking at stuff. And it's like in my mind's eye, see all the things that were there and see all the things that are there. And it's a wee bit overwhelming the way my brain puts it all together. Need to focus on the road. Whoopsie. I mean, I knew Metrocenter had the Wrecking Ball was... The Wrecking Ball has been in Metrocenter's future for quite a while. And this area has become... but looking at it on the surface right now, it doesn't look that bad. But it's... I know we're going to round a corner and we're going to see some... The odds are we're going to round a corner at some point and we're going to see some homeless fentanyl junkies. It's going to happen. Back in like 89 when I was living by here, staying with my dad at his house, but only if I didn't find better places to stay the night. Yeah, I worked for Ruth Nelson Research Services. I think it was in that office park on the right there. I'm passing. I think. So much has changed here. Coming up on the old Best Buy on the left, which Best Buy moved out of that building a long time ago, up to New Digs on Thunderbird. What is that now? Mind 24/7, whatever the fuck that is. At least it's not a vacant building. So it's so funny, like quote unquote affordable apartments are such a hot topic these days. And this whole area used to be surrounded by affordable apartments. Not with the current definition of affordable apartments. Oh, check that out. See that building on the left? That used to be Norwest Bank, and that's where I opened my bank account that I've been talking about quite a bit lately since I've been having these issues with building completely vacant. As I've been having these issues with Chase Bank, and I've been talking about like kind of the history of my bank accounts and banking, and yeah, that's where I opened back when I was a cab driver in the mid-90s, opened... and living in a house just north of here on Sweetwater, opened open a bank account. that eventually became the bank account I have with Wells Fargo. But yeah, it's gone. So I thought the destruction was already supposed to start this weekend, but it's looking like Metrocenter very much still intact. It sure looks freaky. I can still remember everything that was, like that building directly in front of me used to be the Sears Auto Center, part of the mall to the right, which is probably out of frame, but I could turn and head that way. That was Sears. Stepmother worked there in the 70s and 80s. So many good memories of this Sears store here. It's still like so much like it's sad seeing the light globes all smashed like that and the doors all boarded up, but it still looks very much like I remember it. Wow, it's just so weird seeing this lot just so empty. There's the docks where the trucks would have loaded Sears into the basement. This will be the 28th Drive entrance. So it used to be these entrances here, and hopefully security doesn't get on my shit for driving around, but I'm sure there's a lot of other curiosity people driving around right now. This entrance here, if I remember right, was the blue entrance. Now, you see how the entrances look now. Back in the day, back in the glory days of the 70s and the 80s, when this was like the greatest mall in the world, in my head, was for the longest time it was the largest mall west of the Mississippi in the United States. But yeah, the way I just came, where I turned right, if I go north on that turns into 28th Drive. But they used to have these giant structures, shade structures, kind of hard to describe. And maybe I can link an image. But wow, Dillard's clearance, store closing. I'm pretty sure they're closed. That's been actually Dillard's for a long time. It's awesome. Dillard's sign is still there. Right by there is where the Dillard's box office used to be, which was the place to buy concert tickets prior to Ticketmaster completely destroying that industry. But yeah, that entrance there, that used to be the... Ooh, I just noticed my temperature's running a little hot. That used to be the blue entrance, and all the entrances, the giant structure, had different colors to remind you of where you were parked. You know, remember which color entrance you're parked near and which one you came into, so when you exit, because this mall is flipping huge. Split level, 2-level mall. Blue entrances enters on the top level. Some of the other entrances entered on the bottom level. Red entrance also on the top level. I remember when this library was first built. Good to see it's still here. Cholla branch, the Phoenix Public Library. A lot of good times coming here in, like, I want to say this opened when I was in... Wow, and it looks like such a modern bit of architecture, but they definitely gave this place a facelift. But, yeah, I remember coming here. I want to say this opened when I was in, like, 3rd grade, 4th grade, somewhere in there. Yeah, I definitely remember coming down here with my stepmother and checking out books and going to the children's library. Why, all this stuff on the right, just all fenced off, ripped out. I don't even remember what the hell was right there. But as you can see, a lot of vacancy here. This is a few businesses, a few signs in the surrounding stores that used to be here. But yeah, as thriving as the area still seems to be, as I was going down Peoria, as you can see once you get into this area. Appliance liquidation. At least there's a business there. Oh, there's a Culver's. Used to be the most amazing, right here on the right, used to be the most amazing Whataburger with a, ooh, there's a Ross. Yeah, it solves my shoe problem, but I'm in the wrong direction. There used to be a Whataburger right there on the right that had this absolutely amazing playground. I remember going there as a kid. Double G's been there as long as I can remember. Used to be something else, I can't remember what it was. Got so many memories here. Yeah, I'm seeing Double Tree by Hilton seems to be doing really well. Sports bar on the left. Skechers outlet, that's neat. Texas Roadhouse still seems to be doing pretty well. Glad the Phoenix Public Library is still here. Wow, and it looks like Got some road closure here. It looks like this is to facilitate the new business access cafe. That light rail station that's been in the works for like 15 years. You know, maybe if it would have actually got built 15 years ago, Metrocenter and this whole part of town could have been saved. But so supposedly this has all been sold to a developer. It's already a done deal. At least that's what the stuff I'm seeing in the news implies. But just to be building this big walkable mixed-use community apartments, which you know are going to be expensive as hell, and a park and blah 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 blah. Yeah, most of the people in the comment section are like, yeah, nobody's going to want to pay those kind of rents to live in that area, no matter how nice y'all make it. One of the last videos I saw promoting it, one of the things that made me go, wait, what? When they said it, is that they're not looking at having it completed and open until 2030. 2030. Oh, maybe all the homeless fentanyl junkies that are around here that all seem to be somehow hiding in the shadows. Although that guy on the right there with the backpack, I would imagine, is homeless. It's highly likely they'll all die and move on by 2030. A lot can change between now. You know, a lot can change in 8 years. But wow, that is a really far off date for when they're thinking this is going to happen. But yeah, for as much as there's been news that there's going to be wrecking ball, I didn't see any evidence of any kind of wrecking ball happening. In fact, I saw some businesses in the mall still functioning. I'm sure the Walmart is still functioning. Wow, I went the wrong damn direction trying to get to Ross. Whoops. Kind of lost my focus there. See, the Burger King's still there. That does not look like the original building, though. Oh no, they've long since got rid of the old Burger King building and built a new one in the same location. This QT looks pretty nice right now, but I would tell you, on a scale of 1 to 10 sketchy, it's a pretty solid 8.5 at night. Of course, it ain't nothing on the QT up at 28th Drive and Cactus. Some guy died in that one recently. Had this whole standoff with police and guns and lockdown, and then locked himself in a closet and died. Yeah. Some mixed reports about that, and they're all pretty crazy. Premier Inns. This place looks pretty sketchy now. It looks like people probably paying weekly for shitty rooms. Oh, it looks really sketchy now. That used to be a really nice hotel. Didn't used to be called Premier Inns. I don't remember what it used to be called, but it particularly sticks in my mind because once upon a time when I was in my mid-20s and I had a girlfriend that was 19, and she was living with her parents, and I had roommates, and we thought we wanted a little bit more privacy and intimacy and adult fun, and oh yeah, we had one hell of a hot night in that hotel. Definitely one of the first times I remember like getting a hotel for those purposes. So good times. And it was still a very nice hotel at that time. I want to say that was probably about 1995-ish. I don't know if I can remember where I saw where the Ross was, because there didn't used to be a Ross here when I lived here. This is not an area of town that I come to hardly ever because it's so far from where I live. But this is where large portions of my life from about 1976 through the year 2000 were spent. So it's still super bizarre. You know, if memory serves, what used to be over here was Pancho's Mexican Buffet. God, I missed that. I hear there's still some of those in Texas. Anyway, I'm here. I can't believe y'all watched this for 44 minutes. Thanks for coming with me on the drive. And Still not in the bag on that job, but I'm gonna get me some shoes. Actually, what am I saying? I don't need to get me some shoes. I'm gonna go into Ross anyway and just cool off and let my car cool off. But I was thinking I was gonna get me some shoes, but no, I don't need to get shoes. I just need to bring the safety shoes with me tomorrow. All right, I got my head. I got my head together, right? Anyway, thanks for coming with me on the drive. I'm gonna go into Ross and cool off, and I don't know, and buy me some something, so I can say I got it at Ross.